I'd like to call this meeting to order. The Board of Selectmen on August 6th at 7 p.m. in the courtroom. Thank you. First, I just want to read this recording open meeting law statement. Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20, I'm hereby informing all attendees that a video and audio recording is being made of this meeting. So if you prefer not to be videoed or recorded, now's your chance to make your escape, okay? Because we're going to move forward. All right, the first order of business is to review and approve or change the open session meetings from July 16th, 2024. And do I have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move that we accept the open session minutes from July 16th, 2024.
I will second that.
And there's a second. Any comments or suggested changes?
None for me.
All right, saying none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So it's unanimous. We are at item number 2, one of our favorites, public comments. Anyone from the, can you come up and say who you are, and then we'll listen to what you have to say. Thank you, Kat.
Oh, I'm Kathy Hall, and tonight I'm wearing 2 hats. So my first hat is just as a resident.
Oh.
Okay? So, can you please explain to me why at the last select board meeting, there was a switch in the order of chairperson? I know it was hybrid, but Sean was the chairperson,
Sure.
but you were on Zoom. Why
Sure.
couldn't you still be the chair?
Well, I just felt it was, because I can't see anyone in the audience, if someone were to raise their hand, I wouldn't be able to recognize them. So I felt that, so I changed it over just so that with a person who's chairman in place, you can see the public. And I didn't want to go by someone if they had a question about one of the issues. That is the absolute only reason. It was just to accommodate people who may be here.
Yeah, it
and
makes
wish to be recognized.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. I just was there some kind of protocol that said you had to do it that way?
No, it's just that
Okay.
with him, he was voted as clerk. And,
Yeah.
we don't really use the term vice chair and all that.
And then
So-
my next question is, do we have a traffic commission or traffic committee?
We always did.
Do we still have one?
I don't think they're very active.
Okay.
Just the chief.
Just the chief now.
And the DPW superintendent.
Okay.
Okay, because somebody from Lois Street has been complaining about the traffic
Yep.
on that street.
Yep.
And it's very noisy. So I just would like to
Well,
have
the heavy
somebody
trucks
check
aren't
it
supposed
out.
to be on Marble Street in that part anyway, so we can relay that to the chief.
You know, just double check that.
Yep.
Thank you. And my third one as a resident, oh boy. Now, I just made these notes. I want you to know that. I probably can't read my own writing, but I just want some clarification on that open meeting law. Because I know several years ago, there were 3 people that were on a committee, which made up a majority of the committee. They were just in front of Joe's Diner, and they were chit-chatting, and somebody brought a thing against them, a violation of the open meeting law. So, I mean, you can't always...
Well, it's not a violation to get together. We could get together afterwards and go get dinner together, as long as we don't talk about business.
Okay.
And so you can't discuss issues and, figure out where you want to go. That all has to be
Right.
done in the open. But if we want to go to Joe's or someplace else for dinner or whatever, that is not a violation of the open
That
meeting
always
law.
bothered me because
Yeah.
something was brought forward. I have no
Well,
idea
I'm
what
sure
the
it was
end result
dropped.
was, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, but anyways. Okay, so that's it as a resident. Now I'm going to switch hats and be the chairwoman of is that Italy Youth Commission? I think that is, right? So pickleball did occur today despite the threatening weather. And lessons for youth can be arranged on Tuesdays anytime between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. We're trying to encourage young people to come out and learn pickleball. I've heard of many that said, oh, I want to go. And I said, just show up. Somebody will be there to show you how to play.
Sure.
So it's quite exciting to see it coming back again now. And lastly, just stay tuned for the many wonderful activities planned at the Lee Athletic Field for September 21st for the Lee's Founders Weekend. So our next meeting, I'll have the list of those activities. Thank
Sounds
you.
great. All right, thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right, moving along, we have an update from the LYA. We have several members here. If you could come up to the mic and let everybody at home know who you are, and even though we know who you are.
Sure. Hello there, my name's Ali Zabian. I'm the president of the Lee Youth Association Board of Directors.
And I'm Sharon Terry. I'm the executive director of the Lee Youth Association. Before we start, I'm going to just give you this to follow
Absolutely.
along with.
Sure, thank you.
You got one for Sabrina, right?
Have to have on track.
Okay.
That's great.
You did an extra.
Thank
copy
you.
For the records.
Yes, yep.
Thanks very much.
Oops, out. What? It comes. Hey.
I'm actually going to read that.
Hold on, I'm going to stop reading. Sounds good. So, back in your court.
All right. So we're here on behalf of the LYA looking for support from the town. And so I'm going to read this letter here that I have in front of me and in front of you. It says, to the Honorable Lee Select Board, good evening. We're here this evening to discuss our situation at our current facility at the Berkshire Sterile Building. The current owners of this building have 4 years left on our lease. This timeline puts the LYA in a precarious situation as to the need to find or build a new facility. As you know, we came to the Select Board in September of 2022 with the same concerns. 6 months from now, in January of 2025, the Lee Youth Association will celebrate 45 years of existence, working for the Lee Youth of Lee and their families. Over these 45 years, our organization has grown, changed, and evolved in many ways. The town of Lee has generously supported the LYA with a yearly financial budget amount to help defray costs. This year it is approximately around $60,000, and we're grateful for that support. As you are probably aware, we have been looking for a new home for the Busy Bee preschool program in our offices due to the potential loss of our building. Most of all, the other programs are handled off campus, but of course not the preschool program. And while the preschool program was not anticipated to be in play 45 years ago, it now plays a huge part in helping families from Lee and surrounding towns to assist our families to work and know that their children are safe and happy. In today's world, Busy Bee's program, as well as the LYA, provides services that are vital to the health of the Berkshires. So we're here tonight to ask for your cooperation in helping us to locate a new home. After visiting numerous sites in town, none of which meet the requirements, we have concluded that we must build a facility that meets those requirements. We do not expect the taxpayers to bear the cost of the facility or the operation of the facility. It is our intention to hold a capital campaign to build, but we need some place to build it. And that's why we are here tonight, to ask this board if they would be willing to work with us to obtain a town-owned parcel of land, to create a public-private partnership in the town of Lee to make this happen, such as in the town of Concord, Mass., where more than one partnership exists for this very same purpose. We would also like to take note of the information being provided by our director, Sharon Terry, tonight. And at this time, we would like to send our condolences to the family of Charles O'Neill, one of the founding members of the LYA who passed away this week. We'd like to thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
So I just want to, if you look at the second page, this will just give people an idea of what the LYA does in a year's time. And we went over this a little bit the last time we were here, but the LYA was founded in 1980, and so as Ali said, it'll be 45 years this January that we've been in existence. And this particular year, we've offered 14 different programs, classrooms, or activities with an enrollment of over 1,000 children. So some of those are the same kids, that are in different programs, but that's what our enrollment looks like. And that includes the career fair that we do, which touches like 300. But some of the programs that we do are of a longer duration, and then the career fair is something that's a one-day type thing. So I just listed the programs for a year, so you would have an idea of what we do in a year's time, and then you can just multiply that times 45. The Busy Bee Learning Center, which is where we need all the space for that and for our offices. The Busy Bee has 6 classrooms. It has an infant, 3 toddler programs, preschool, and pre-K. And when we were at our other location on Academy Street, we had a preschool. So we've grown a lot since then. We've also actually added another classroom, which is a behavioral specialist, to work with any of our kids that have any types of behavioral things or difficulties with transitions during the day. So we have a 7th classroom actually that has that. And we had about 120 children. I actually think it was a little smaller this year. In all of those classrooms. So, and then we have, I think I have a different sheet than you do have, because I think yours might say, does it say 122 children?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. I think it was just a little bit lower, like about 120 this year. So, in our after-school program, which we run at the elementary school, we have 44 children that signed up this year. So that program runs from 3 to 5:30. Everything that we do is to help working families and their children. The summer day camp, which is running right now, we have 176 campers this year, and last year I think we had 136. So we have 176 enrolled this year. So we have, we had quite an increase in the number. Our summer camp is also the least expensive of most camps in Berkshire County, if not all, because we did a little research and found out that ours was, the least expensive. Within that, we have a counselor and training program, and we have about 30 counselors to date that have gone through that program. So kids, when they're going into 9th grade, can become a counselor in training and then eventually go on to become a counselor. So we have 6 this year, but we've had 30 to date since we started that program. Our basketball camp this year, we have a basketball camp on the same campus, the high school. The basketball camp had 110 children enrolled, and our actual basketball program, which runs from probably October, November until February, we had 228 children enrolled in the basketball program this year. Our youth baseball, we have 25 children. We had Dan Cordy started a baseball camp for us this year, and we had 18 campers in that. We also run a Lee career and college fair that we do at the high school, and we work on that with the school as well, with Dan Cordy. So we have about 40 to 50 vendors every year, and all 300-ish kids from 7th grade to 12th grade attend that. So all in all, we have about 1,000 who are enrolled or participating in programs in a year's time. We also employ 72 people go through our payroll. So that is full-time, part-time, seasonal, substitutes, but that's how many people have gone through our program or our payroll in a year's time. So we're a good size employer for the town of Lee as well. So, and I just wanted to give you an idea of what we look like in a year's time, and like I said, you can multiply all of that times 45. But in summarizing, as Ali said, it's securing land is pivotal for us to advance our capital campaign, apply for state funds, and initiate our building plans. To move forward, we hope you would consider leasing or gifting us town-owned land. With your approval, we would like to identify land that aligns with our requirements. Your support will be instrumental in enabling us to build a facility that allows us to continue to ensure every child and every family in our community has the services they need to thrive. We would ask now if we have your approval to look at town-owned land and just see if there's anything that would work for us. Explore that a little bit, and then maybe come back to you in a month and say, you know, we see this piece of land that's owned by the town. This would work for us. We would be able to afford to build something here. Well, we'll have to do a capital campaign, but the location would be good. The amount of land would be good. So if we could explore that a little bit, if you would give us your permission to do that, then we would do that and then come back to you in a month and say, you know, we have identified this piece of land. Is it possible for you to lease it to us or to gift it to us so we can do that? The other thing is once we need a starting point, and you know that would be land, and from that point on we can then do our plans and ask for, you know, run a capital campaign and really start to build something, literally build something. We wouldn't be asking the taxpayers for any money in taxes or anything like that. This would all be a capital campaign, a project that we would run, but we really need the help from the town to identify some land that we could have or lease so that we can begin this project. Without that, we have 4 more years on the lease where we are now, and if we don't find a new home, then, you know, I don't know what would happen to the LYA. And like I said, we've been here for 45 years, so, and I think, you know, in the years that I've been here and the many years before that the LYA has really done a lot for the town, and that's with all of the people involved, all of the employees, all of the board members, families that have helped us with that. So anyways, we'd like to ask if we could have your permission to do that with looking at some land, and then potentially come back in a month and say, this looks good for our purposes. Is there any way that you could help us with that?
Gentlemen, comments, questions?
Do you have even a general estimate about what amount of land you would need for it?
We would hope for 3 to 5 acres. So our plan would be to, at this point in time, would be to build something that would accommodate the classrooms that we have and the offices. And a lot of our programming we still could run off-site, like our after-school program and our camp, Lee Elementary School, St. Mary's School. We could continue to do that. Down the road, so phase 2, we would like to see the possibility of building a regulation-sized gym for the programs that we run, but that would be down the road. So initially, it would just be to house these programs and our offices. But again, we only have 4 years left in this lease as they're looking to expand, so it doesn't look like our lease will be renewed.
Okay. Charlie, Ed?
No, I don't have any questions at this time.
Well,
I don't know that I have a problem with at least the concept or you know, giving you guys our approval to search out town land, or at least see what we have.
Okay.
I don't have an issue with that, but
Maybe somebody watching will donate you 3 to 5 acres.
I think that would be nice.
That would be very nice.
That would
And
be
there's
very nice.
many people in town who could afford to do that. So let us, I guess.
You have those names?
Oh, no, I'll get to you. Oh, yeah. So if there's no objection from anybody, I guess as far as permission to look and come back and talk to us, I don't think looking hurts anything.
Okay.
And certainly other people walk on our town property all the time anyway, so I don't see any restrictions there. So if you wish to look through the assessor's office and go do some physical walk-ins and come back to us, I don't think that's a problem. What you do know is even if we found something, there would be quite a regulatory process to have the town be able to, and I'm sure Ed and Britton would be able to be more thorough with this later, about how do we do that,
Right, I understand
legally, how
that.
do we do that?
I understand
So
that.
we can talk about that if it even, and not tonight, but in case there is something, then we'd have to have real discussions with him, or you
Right.
can have him in the meantime, on how would something like that be done through town meeting and procurement and all the other things that have to be done.
Right.
So,
We understand that.
okay, very
There's
good.
some resources if you want to come in that shows where different areas of town land.
Okay.
Maps and that sort
Yeah.
of thing.
Okay.
So,
All right, that would be great.
yeah, arrange to meet with Chris or do that. And then also any information, I know you mentioned the town of Concord with it. Any information you had on their process.
Yes.
And whatnot, it might be great if you could get that to Chris and the board also.
Okay.
That would be very helpful, I think.
All right.
See what process they went through.
Great. We would be happy to do that.
Sure.
Okay.
All right, well, thank
Thank
you
you.
for coming in.
Thank you very much
All
for
right,
your
very
time.
good. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Anybody have any, yeah, I know. So before you leave, any questions or anything from anyone? No one has any more questions on this issue. Okay, then I'm going to move up. Go ahead, Kathy. Up to there. Come on. This is your workout. You don't play pickleball.
I
We'll get you up
should've-
there.
Well, first of all, I'm 100% in support of them getting some land.
Great.
So secondly, I'm sorry, but I forgot, I should have bulleted all the things that I had on my list, but I missed one. Can responses to inquiries about something before the select board come only by person in attendance or via a letter or email? Or could it be done by phone or Facebook? So say there's an issue in our town, it's brought before the select board.
Okay.
And then you're like, okay, in the next meeting, we're going to talk about blah, blah, blah. In the meantime, people are talking.
Oh, yeah.
Does it have to be, they come in person the next meeting, or they can email you, or can it be comments that are on Facebook, or can they give you a phone call?
Well, they can
I just
always-
want to know what the
Well, they
process
can,
is.
well, the process is how if they want to contact us, they can get hold of, they can email the town administrator or Sabrina. They can call the office and go take notes. We do have an answering machine. They can call in the middle of the night if they so choose. So, yeah, I mean,
Okay,
I
just-
don't go hunt anything down on Facebook. We don't go out and look at
No,
things like
right,
that.
right.
But someone would have to reach out and contact us in the meantime.
Somehow.
Not a problem. And
Okay.
if it's an issue, Chris, I'm sure would get to each of us individually. We can't do it as a group.
Right.
Because of the open meeting law.
Right.
But I'm sure that he'd be more than happy, or Sabrina would be more than happy to.
Just see, how do we collect the data that's needed at a
There you
meeting?
go. Well, they
Okay.
just need to get hold of the town.
Thank you, and thank you for letting me come up a second.
I don't know, no threes though.
All right, I'm done, okay?
Okay, good.
Thank
You know the old thing about no three on a match, So, anyway, thank you very much. See you later. Yep. All right, so the next thing we have is I gotta make sure I say this right. You guys come on up. You're next. Kiwanis Club and Berkshire Harm Reduction are joining hands and working together on, and I know I want to say naloxone, but I know that it's short for no locks box. So let's, hopefully I said that right. Introduce yourselves and speak up. See what you got.
My name is Sarah DeJesus from Berkshire Harm Reduction, which is a program of Berkshire Health Systems.
And I'm Betty Flood, and I'm a member of the Kiwanis Club of Lee.
Okay, great.
I'm Heather Archibald. I'm also a member of the Kiwanis Club of Lee.
Great, thank you.
I think we have James Smith from Tri-Town on here.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Jane Vick from Silver Birch, a couple members inside town. Also, Pam Southbox of Birch Public Health in Tri-Town.
great, thank you very much for joining us. So let's hear the proposal. What's happening? So everybody at home knows.
Sure. So basically what we're looking to do is install at least one or more, of these public access nalox boxes. They hold naloxone, which is it's commonly known as Narcan. So it's the pharmaceutical drug that reverses an opiate overdose. We have installed 77, I believe, is our current number throughout Berkshire County, mostly in Central and North County, and now have started to explore options in South County. So they're just very basic boxes. Anybody can access the medication. Massachusetts has a standing order for Narcan, so anybody can obtain it, anybody can carry it, anybody can administer it. It's a very simple medication. It's just like a nasal spray, like Flonase or Afrin, something like that. So it's easy to administer. It only works on an opioid overdose, so it has no effect, good or bad, if someone doesn't have opiates in their system. It's really just to get access to naloxone or Narcan into the community to try to prevent fatal overdoses from opioids.
So what are you looking for from us? A location, approval, a town property, some other property? What exactly would you like from the board?
Just support. So there's no cost to the town. We would maintain the box, restock the box. We work with each individual community to determine where the best location might be to house the boxes. Okay. We have some at police stations, libraries, college campuses, private residences, kind of whatever works best for the town. If it was on town property, we would need permission from the town or just support from, whichever organization houses the box.
Have you spoken to the chief of police about his thoughts on where it might be located or where, or anything like that? Have you had any discussions?
I haven't. I don't know if Jane or Pam have.
Address that a little.
Oh, okay. Well, Chris, I guess has, so he's going to
Betty and I have talked about it too.
Yep. Good.
So I guess just one was a concern that maybe at town hall having the police station that it might deter some people from using it.
Yeah.
In front of where a police
it,
station is, because it could involve illegal drugs, right?
Yeah.
So that was just kind of a concern, and people might be more reluctant to use it, right? Right at the police station. That being said, other town locations, there's no issues. With.
That makes sense. Yeah. Somebody might be nervous. And then once you open that box, you grab 5 of these things, 1 of these things. So why don't we see the inside of one of these?
Yeah, hold it up to the camera too.
Yeah, sure.
Show it.
So it just has latches on the side.
Okay.
And it's just, so this box holds 6 doses.
Okay.
It's just held in by Velcro.
Okay.
Very simple. There's instructions on the box. There's instructions on this bigger box. And then we put little palm cards that people can take with them.
Okay.
With these same instructions. And then the box itself also has QR code that people can scan with their fancy phones that takes them to a list of local resources and other support services for students.
Okay.
Once you put them in a location, how do people know where that location is? Is there I'm just wondering, somebody's trying to seek these boxes out. How do they find them?
We have a map, so this QR code also takes you to the map of all of the nalox box locations in Berkshire County, and it's also on the BHS website, the map with all the locations that we update each time we put up a new box.
So I have a question, just because I'm not sure about this, but I thought I'd heard once, is this something that you can go to a pharmacy and just get, or, for free? So that's another option. I'm not saying not to do this, but that is an option for people to just go to Walgreens or Big Y here in town.
You can get it at the pharmacy, yep.
Okay. And at no cost, or does it cost people to get it? Do you know?
People get different answers depending on which pharmacy they go to.
Very good. All right.
it should be available over the counter at no cost.
Okay.
That doesn't always happen.
I get it. All right. Well, thank you very much. So, yes, Bob.
No, is there, in terms of location, is there a kind of a pattern throughout the rest of the county as to where they're located? On a main street, on a shopping center? Or
Yeah, not particularly. I mean, they're all kind of in different locations. Like I mentioned some of them, there's also like public housing complexes. There's no real restriction or rhyme or reason to our madness.
So are you coming before us with some suggestions for us to consider, or?
Yes.
Okay, so what would that be? Yeah, okay, good.
A walk around town today and came up with a few locations that we think would be good and just like feedback. You know, we could work together with the two decide on a location for this outside box. Our first choice would be the park that's right there behind town hall, somewhere in there. There's like the pavilions. We could put it under there so that it's easily accessible and accessible to the police station. There's also, when we're walking down, the pavilion by the Tracks on Help. We thought that would be a good location as well because it's outside. The majority of people know where it is. So it can be easily accessible as well. And then there's the Athletic Fields and Park Square. Those are also the locations that came up to us because it's right there in town. But, you know, it would just be a good option. And lastly, the Walgreens parking lot. The gas station right there, there's the Walgreens, there's, you know, the restaurants there, the laundromat. It's just a good central location. So those are just the ideas that we had thrown together, and we're looking for some feedback and helping people.
Sure. So the only thing I would think of is if you wanted it in the park, know that that's owned by the Congregational Church, so you just work with them.
Yep.
If you decided the gazebo over by the DPW at this point in time, which should remain a gazebo through our renovations and whatnot, that you would just come back to us if that's what you want to do. But I mean, I don't have a problem with the concept and getting it out there. I think it's fine. The issue is, if you want it on town land, it would be us, and otherwise, it's if you want to talk to a private individual, and it goes on their, buildings or a freestanding pile or what, that would be up to them. I wouldn't have any problem with that, but, perhaps if you come up with a definite, we want to put one here, and just make sure you get permission from us before you do it, but, let us know what your final decisions are and how many you're going to have around town. That's fine. We can get it publicized. And
I was just wondering too, if it's something that can go on a post, that would give a lot more flexibility.
Yeah,
like
that's
on a lamp post or that sort of
I'll
thing.
just speak as an example. I work at the Pittsfield Cooperative Bank at the main office. One of our parking lots that we have is parking lot on Church Street in Pittsfield, right behind South Congregational Church, where they have a food pantry there on Wednesdays. And there's a post split rail fence that along the sidewalk, and there's one that's zip tied right there, right on the side of the sidewalk.
well, it sounds good. It's also a place where people.
We did
come
actually
for
pick up a food pantry and lay here
Yeah.
also. I mean, I know it's not going to be there after a while, but for the
But we'll
the
have
time
one.
being, it would we thought might be a good place for one.
Okay.
When you say you're looking for our support, would you like us to draft a letter? Would that help you out at all, or just blanket the league select board supports your?
So like if we went to the church for their permission.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We
Right.
could provide you with one so that when you go seek
So I think
Fine.
other people, they at least know that you've been with
Yeah.
us and
I think that would be good.
efforts.
In fact, be very beneficial.
If you were looking for something on town property, I necessarily think, unless the board would like you to come back, but to give us the location.
Okay.
They could vote on it.
Okay.
At the following meeting to okay the spot.
so. Any other questions? First of all, then would we have, oh,
Just like as public work resident question.
yes, go ahead.
How often do they need to be like replenished? How is like what is used right away? How long does it take to get marketed there so people balance it?
So Narcan itself is good for a year and a half to 2 years before it expires. So it has a pretty decent shelf life. And then we have a staff member whose entire job is maintaining and restocking and replenishing these boxes. And so he rotates older ones out if they haven't been used with newer ones, and he tracks all of the data for that so that they don't expire.
Yeah. Clint,
He's good with that.
any other questions? Okay. Then, any other questions for you, Gillian? Then, would anyone like to make a motion to have the board sign a letter of support?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we draft a letter of support for the location for the locks boxes be situated in Lee. I'm gonna wait for recommendation.
Yes, go ahead and say, we have a second. Any other questions before I call for a vote? Any other comments for you folks? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So that's unanimous, and we'll get something together and we'll reach out and then we can talk further about where he might want to do it, or, you know, you'll have a letter from us. So if you'll go to either the Congregational Church or another church in town or another location, at least you'll have something to take with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Very good. You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Good luck. Yep. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, next. Okay. The EV chargers, continued discussion and possible approval. All right, I see we do have Nick here. That's good. So you're muted, Nick. If you want to talk about things, just make sure you remember to unmute. That's all. Chris, do you want to lead this, or?
Sure, yeah. So after Nick's presentation, we came back. There was some feedback from the public that we received as well, just confirming that we weren't going right on Main Street. That's
Right.
the big concern.
Right.
So we did the two areas that we're really looking at on the short term would be the municipal parking lot sort of behind Town Hall, behind CIP, near Dr. Cerruti's former office, and kind of Verizon, that area. So there's two potential locations that are on the maps here, or the aerial photos rather, and I think, Nick, correct me if I'm wrong, but it would probably just depend on where the utilities could be run as to the exact parking spots, right?
That's 100% correct.
Okay.
Just like mentioned, the best thing you know is to get for more charges and a approve us for the deciding that 4 mile use of the only one out 2 or 3, you can always downgrade the folks.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So right now you're looking at potential of 3 in that sort of between here and Verizon behind Town Hall, and then the potential for 3 additional ones at the new public safety building. But again, that would be a couple of years down the road before that would happen. But we'd get, as we discussed last time, get the ball rolling on that, get approval, and kind of go from there. So Nick did provide the contract information if the board is interested, which does show, as mentioned, $0.
For the first 3?
What would
For
be
all 6?
For all 6.
Okay, very good.
Correct, Nick?
Yeah.
He's got,
That's correct. I just want to be clear. The documentation of the airbag is a from both
Yes.
takes. That is a, for lack of a better term, non-binding boxing is you're going to be signing over from one of the minutes of argument. The mother's the first source, so the one with charging station, there's that location, along with the other things, so this is on here. We're still have the sports stations, the 3 at school most, that matches that are both. When we sign that 3 at global, excellent things and combined and contract is place.
Okay.
So before we would sign that that final document, we want to readdress how many chargers, if we would want to reduce the number at that point.
Correct. So, the most simplest format, I want you to consider this. If you're looking to buy or refinance a house, when you go to buy or refinance out, put your application process in. And then you're going to wait a day, 2 days, 3 days for the bank to either issue an approval with conditions or a counter offer. So once we submit that, Eversource is going to come back to you with the pre-approval, so you can approve with recharging stations, and then you sign off on it, or you go back and say, we've decided we only want 2 charging stations. Eversource is currently taking 4 to 5 months to issue the pre-approved. So let's assume you guys sign and water the proposal today. We submitted, hopefully we'll have something back by December. And that was point out between now and December, maybe you guys will determine how many chargers you want, and we can advise Eversource before the pre-approval goes in.
Okay. If, let's say we go forward with 3 immediate and the other 3 maybe down the road, do they have to be right next to each other, or can you put 2 on one side of a parking lot and 1 on another side, or do they need to be ganged together, if you follow me?
I understand what you're saying. That's the first time I've ever had anybody ask that I first.
I'm like that.
I think you really want to have all the charging stations next to each other. So everything I've ever seen, whether it's Tesla or all the other level 2 chargers, it's all been in the straight line.
All right. Well, it's something we need to take into consideration while we're designing our public safety building, where we have a number of different entries, a number of different parking purposes, where you may want, anyway, so you answered my question, and we'll get back to you on that one, but yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
I think it is saying because I just want to make one more point.
Sure.
Because there's some, if I heard properly, there's a little bit of a thought that we can move forward with one location and then potentially go with the next. I want to be very clear, the incentive is final. Meaning, once this incentive fills,
Yeah.
we don't know what the new incentive will be there. What I will tell you is, if you follow the solar incentives from the SREC 1 program to the SREC 2 program to the SMART program, the incentive got worse and worse and worse throughout the process. So what we can obtain for 3 charging stations for the town, generic number, $10,000. When this incentive fills up, when it comes back out, it may be 20,000, maybe 50,000, maybe 100,000. So striking while the kettle is hot is what I think where the council really strongly consider, especially for the fact, based upon my donation, there's no out-of-pocket expense to get everything moving based upon the current incentive.
No, and I understand that. What I guess when I said we'd do it late, I didn't mean, I think we have to apply for the 2 locations, 3 in each location. And I understand we need to get the pre-approvals to that and get it in the pipeline. What I was saying is that it's going to take a little bit of time before we're able to put the other lots, the public safety lot in play physically. So I just wanted to make sure that wasn't going to be a problem of having to postpone a little bit, but still be in the check, in the queue.
So from what we've seen, from the time that we submit the signed proposal in the LBA to installation, It's been taking about 9 months.
Okay.
So if he received the pre-approval in December or January, even if Eversource was able to pump these things out really quick, the ground's still frozen, so the likelihood of us installing anything until April or May is slim.
Yeah. Okay. No, thank you. One?
I think you have plenty of time to digest things, figure out the parking and stuff like that.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? So what's your pleasure?
I'll make a motion that we sign on for 6 chargers at 2 locations. One being the parking lot behind Town Hall, the other is the fire EMS facility, under the terms with discussed.
Okay. Sean?
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion. Any other questions from the public? Come up to the microphone, please. Thank you.
For clarification, Gord, did you want to authorize me to sign this or yourself, one or the other? It's just a one-person signature. So.
Okay, well, let's hear what Kathy has to say, and we'll come back to you on that.
No, I just have a question. I'm not clear because I don't have those conservation skills to know, the location. So you're talking behind Town Hall? No, over by Cerruti's own building, right? So isn't there a parking lot like right in front? Isn't that municipal parking there?
Yes.
Is that the one you're going to take 3 spaces out of there?
We're not taking the spaces out.
What?
We're not taking the spaces out. We're designating the charges.
Yeah, but what I mean is there's going to be 3 less spaces for people to park.
People can park
Is it
there.
right? Yeah, I know they can park, but there's going to be 3 less parking spaces.
No.
Then where are the new spaces coming in? That's where I'm confused. I don't mean to hold things up. I mean, I'm all for it, and especially not on Main Street.
Yeah, no, it's
I'm just confused because
we're here to
parking-
clarify for
yeah.
you, Kathy, because really what we're doing is we're not changing the parking structure whatsoever. We're just putting in a charging station so that people can park there and charge their electric
so
vehicles.
if there are, say, 20 parking spaces there now, there's still going to be 20 parking. Thank you, that's all I want to know, because I'm envisioning, less parking, and people are going to be screaming because even with that nice lot, it's not enough parking. But anyway, thank you for putting up with me, thank you.
Okay, so as far as signatures go, while we're discussing the motion in the second, do we need to amend it or can we just instruct afterwards? You want a part of the motion?
Yeah, well, we either would like, we should have part of the motion that the chair sign or that you have me sign it. Like
And I don't care, Bob. What's your pleasure? You made the motion. Would you like to amend your motion?
Amendment motion to for 6 charging stations, 3 at the 3 each at the parking locations discussed, and have Chris sign the rate.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Motion.
Then we have an amended motion that allows the town administrator to sign off on this proposal. Without, Kathy, anything more? You good? Good. All right. Sabrina, you're good? She got it? Okay. No one's raising their hand online, so I would call for a vote. To all those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye. So that is unanimous. KV charges are done. Thank you very much for coming to the meeting. Appreciate you zooming in on us. Thank
Absolutely,
you.
guys.
Thanks.
Sure.
I think just email and phone numbers, the least question to contact me now and people, please give me a call, good?
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Right. The next is we have a sign off on some legal documents so that we can close on some property up off of Stockbridge Road.
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we sign off on the closing documents for the Stockbridge Road property. Is there a lot number? Or the 2.5 acres on the planned land and this is past town meeting. Okay.
All right. Is that close enough for language?
Yeah, 'cause that's the part that, so we're acquiring 19.6
That's right.
acres and sort of selling in the process the 2.5, same owners. Yeah.
So, well, first of all, I need a second.
Second.
Okay, now we have a second. So, Kathy, question?
Sorry.
We've been talking about this for over a year.
Except I don't know what the letters mean. Now, you're just talking about Stockbridge Road? F?
Yes, there's a
Not E.
land swap that we're doing so we can connect the town
Yes, that
land.
Long Cob Park.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
all it is.
All right, that's all I need to know.
Okay,
But,
that's
and
all
you
it is.
skipped over the green theory cultivation.
You're looking at the
We're on D.
IMA letter F. That's the town of Stockbridge.
Okay,
We're on D.
different thing.
We're on D right now.
Thank you.
have it.
All right.
Okay.
I'm all set.
Okay, very good.
I think I better go home and rest.
Make your call, Kathy, and we'll see you. You can watch from home and give us a call. All right, thank you. So we have a motion and a second, and I believe we had a second.
Yes.
Correct? Okay. And it does take all three of us to sign. So if there's no other questions, I would call for a vote. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye. So that is also unanimous. All right, next, HCA, Green Theory Cultivation LLC. And do you want to say anything, or are you just here to, Harsh is online, I know, I saw.
And as well as James McMahon, I'm
Okay, great.
thank you. But
All right, how you doing?
Just for the record, Gordon.
Yeah.
That I recuse myself.
All right, very good. So we have one recusal. All right, Sabrina, you got that? All right, so, Chris, would you like to run us through this for the folks at home?
Yep, so this is an HCA renewal.
Yep.
It's being done with the state-provided template from the CCC. So pretty much the same template we use for sweetgrass.
Right. Okay.
The only difference would be the dates that changed in there. Otherwise, it's, but it's, again, the same document.
All right, it looks like I'm the only signature to this as chair.
yeah, so Mr. Chair, I would make a motion to authorize you, the chair, to sign the the HCA agreement between Green Theory and towns.
All right, and I will second that. Any questions or anything, or Harsh, or, yep, I can't read it. All right, James or Harsh, do you have anything you would like to comment on, or statements to this? Having to do with this?
I do the same, really, like you heard Lee and working with Lee, it was great working with Chris, and if you have a sort of background in those two, that's ACA, it's working away. It's unfortunately kind of done to both of our last 5 counties that I should have been up for the same model.
Yep.
So I, well create the best we can. This allowed us to remove license difference, continue, about 80 moves out, continue employing people from Lee. Looking forward to doing that in many years to come.
Okay. Harsh, anything from you, or you're good?
I would say I agree with that. It's been good, right? It's been a great journey, and appreciate town support that team has just using the operation, and you have the right things on tree support.
Okay. Mark, I don't want to overlook you. Anything you want to comment on, or are you good?
No, it's as a Lee resident, obviously, I feel that the town's been extremely fair
Okay.
and patient with us, which I very much appreciate.
Comment?
Yeah, in terms of as a senior businesses such as ours, I think that the Lee has been nothing but stuff.
Okay. Well, thank you. So, any other comments or questions? Or, no? So, with the two of us here, I will call for a vote on signing.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we voted. I do have just a comment. I know that you've been working on your odor mitigation issues. And, yep, I'm just saying that there's still at times some minor issues going on, and that's when we should let you know on dates and times and what part, then you can look up what part of your process again, it's way better than it was, I have to say.
So even better than that, Gordon.
Yeah.
And I'll try to be brief, but
Sure.
we have timed treatments from the system. So if it's based on feedback that we've received thus far, right, it's afternoon, early evening,
Yep.
through morning. That's when we actually encourage the run a system to the heaviest.
Okay.
And we can actually increase that frequency significantly. Where it's really soliciting that feedback to make sure that it's times all the way down to, in some cases, we've actually, or I should say, cleaning theory, so utilizing, they'll even install a weather station so that if there are complaints at certain times or based on certain wind patterns, we can hook the system up to, again, get that. As I said, it's a constant balancing process. As you know, it's a bit subjective, so we working in it constantly are not always the
I get that.
can't perceive that odor. So where there is one, it's this system is extremely customizable, and we can add as many treatments as necessary in order to facilitate just a full reduction of it.
Thank you. All right, well, I'm sure that you'll have some feedback at, some point, but I know that you've been working on it, and there's been some improvement, so we'll just work from here. Continue to work with you on the mitigation sheet. Great. All right, thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Okay. If we're all set on that, then we're going to move forward. Bob, you're back in action. Okay, we've got an IMA, an intermunicipal agreement with Lee Stockbridge EMS. This is pretty standard documentation, isn't it?
Yeah, so this, standard in terms of IMAs,
Yes.
as far as the context of it. So just a little background, we and Bob was on the committee for this as well. We started meetings a little over a year ago with Stockbridge and went into a pretty intensive study of response times with EMS and so forth. And at the time, the question was whether we would combine services with Lee and Stockbridge. Throughout that study, it became more and more apparent that it was not really beneficial to find a place that would work for both towns, would still not give either town better services. In fact, some areas might suffer a little bit, particularly in the northern areas of Stockbridge. So the bottom line was Stockbridge realized that to get the service that they need and to also kind of address the ongoing EMS crisis throughout Berkshire County that we have, was to provide their own full-time services. So while all this was happening, we applied for some money, which we received $1 million grant towards the facility. But the grant was kind of with the idea of a Lee Stockbridge. So Lee will be receiving the $1 million, which is the good news for our facility. Just to kind of compensate Stockbridge for that, we are entering an IMA that kind of does two things, but kind of the IMA, we basically get the full $1 million. We're doing some basically in-kind services for about 30% of that helps out Stockbridge, but also helps out Lee in the transition of them moving from a contracted services to their, through us and the town of Lenox and the town of Great Barrington. They use all three towns, but particularly on Lee's end, this will kind of transition that. So it's it provides our old ambulance, which is now surplus, and tiers down the annual payments incrementally over the course of 3 fiscal years. So it's again, it kind of is kind of mutually beneficial. So, and we will receive the full $1 million from USDA.
So on item number one, compensation and payment schedule, I noticed Lee agrees to compensate Stockbridge by a total of $300,000 by setting the annual rates for emergency services provided by Lee to Stockbridge in the following amounts. But the 2 years only add up to $200,000. So how's that work?
Yeah, so the ambulance is valued at $50,000. So
there's $250,000.
And so let me just.
I just want to see how this is.
Yeah, so it's actually right now it's about 225,000. So you've got,
So I got 125 and 75. That's 200,000. And yes, the value of the ambulance at 50, so there's two. I'm just wondering that, you know, I don't want anybody to get shortchanged.
Right.
So I just want to know about, is it spelled out so that we should be showing the entire 300,000?
correct. So it's 75 on the first year, 125, and then 50.
Where are you getting these numbers? Because they don't look that way on my document.
I'm sorry. Let me restart. Let me do the math. It doesn't work out. I promise.
No problem. I agree, but I'm confused. That's the only reason I'm asking. It didn't look quite like, it looked like you had 100,000 valued on the ambulance, maybe.
Yeah, so it's, give me 1 second.
Sure. I'm assuming this fiscal year.
Right, so the total is usually 225. So the first year, it's worth 100,000. The second year is worth 150,000. And then the ambulance is 50, which comes to 300.
So what are these numbers I'm looking at?
So instead of paying us 225, which they are in FY26, they're paying us
They're gonna give us
125.
I got
so
you.
there's a
Now,
value of 100.
see, it doesn't show that here. So I was just kind of trying to figure out how you came up with these numbers. Now I can understand how you came up because you're showing the reverse of what I thought you were showing.
yeah.
Okay, no problem. All right, well, with that out of the way, any other questions? Sure. Then could I have them? And it's going to take all three of us to sign. So do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we sign the intermunicipal agreement between the town of Stockbridge and the town of Lee for the fire EMS issues.
Second.
All right. Now that I probably confused everybody, is there any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It is voted unanimously. All right, our next item is item G, sign the state primary warrant. Okay, so we have the documentation in front of us for signing the warrant, and you can see what it's going to look like. And it looks like it takes all three of us. And is there any question or motion?
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we sign the state primary warrant as written.
I'll second that.
All right, and it's just, so for this is just this one page.
That's right.
Okay. All right, I thought it would have to be more detailed with all the other stuff going on. All right, very good. So there's a motion and a second to sign off. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, so we have now another thing to sign. All right, so we, next on the agenda, 3H, is we have a gas permit application from Berkshire Gas Company to install a new gas service at 15 Landers Road. Let's see, we have sign-offs from DPW and police as being approved by them. We have a little map here, and that's Landers Road. So it looks like they're going to be crossing Landers Road. So DPW must be happy with the way they're going to refill the road. Any questions or comments? If not, can I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the Berkshire Gas Company permit for 15 Landers Road to install the new gas service.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, very good. Thank you. All right, the next item on our agenda is we have a request we have a letter of support we're supposed to be signing for Mass DOT. This is for Ozzy's Glass Gallery. And this basically is a letter from us, and it would say we are writing to express our enthusiastic support for the installation of a tourist orientation directional sign for Ozzy's Glass Gallery in the town of Lee. As a valued member of the community, Ozzy's Glass Gallery has significantly contributed to the cultural and economic vitality of the town. Ozzy's Glass Gallery is not only a local treasure, but also a unique attraction that draws visitors from near and far. The gallery showcases exquisite glass art, offering both residents and tourists an opportunity to appreciate and purchase one-of-a-kind pieces. The presence of a The presence of a TODS, which is the sign call, would greatly enhance the visibility of this remarkable establishment, ensuring that more visitors can discover and enjoy the artistic offerings it provides. The addition of a directional sign would also support local tourism by guiding visitors to a destination that embodies the artistic spirit of Lee. We strongly believe that the installation of this TODS for Ozzy's Glass Gallery aligns with our community's goals of promoting local businesses and enhancing the visitor experience. We urge you to consider this request favorably and support the placement of the directional sign to help guide tourists to this exceptional gallery. Thank you for your attention to this matter, and we are confident that this initiative will have a positive impact on our community, and we look forward to seeing Ozzy's Glass Gallery receiving the recognition it deserves. And I don't see a picture of where they're going to put this directional sign. I thought that maybe there'd be a picture here. It's one of these blue things that DOT puts up.
Yeah, I think it actually goes on where they're already, I believe, that's what Sabrina had worked, but they're already there with the additional one to it.
Well, there's some for the Red Lion and some other things by the gas station and the Turnpike Bridge. I don't know of other ones. Sabrina?
Mercy.
Come.
They said that we ready for that.
Okay.
I think why, right?
Yeah, okay, very good. All right, well, thank you. And it usually gives you the distance to it and all that. Sure. All right, so any other comments?
No, Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we sign the letter
To DOT?
to the DOT.
All right,
I'll second it.
all right. If there's no other questions or comments, then I would call for a vote. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye. All right, very good. Just getting my notes here. All right, we next have a one-day entertainment license application from the Lee Chamber of Commerce for a movie in the park. And this looks like it's for children on Thursday, August 22nd from 7 p.m. It'll be done at 10 p.m. They're expecting about 30 people. They've done this before, I know, in other years, and it says the rain date is, nope, they're going to cancel. So if it rains, it's not going to happen. So it's a movie picture show, and it's signed off by the head of the Lee Chamber of Commerce, Kathy DeVarens. And any comments or questions?
I don't have any.
All right, then can I get a motion?
Mr. Chairman, we approve the application for the movie, for the one-day movie permit for the chamber.
Second.
We have a second. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so that's unanimous. We also have a second one-day entertainment license. You just mark those off. Again, it's for Lee Founders Day weekend from the Chamber of Commerce. They are asking for the starting date of Friday, September 20th, ending Saturday, September 21st. They have some events may have to be canceled if it rains, but not all of them. It'll be at their choice. So Friday, it would start at 5 o'clock p.m. and go until 8, and a Friday night, and then Saturday from 10 in the morning until 4 p.m. is what they're requesting. They're estimating possibly up to 1,000 people on our main street, which would be great for us. They have live music. They have music on Friday in front of the Chamber Inn and Cafe Triscal, and also music on Saturday in the park. It says other things, Saturday children's entertainment and games in the park. I assume you're involved in that somehow, Kathy, I'm sure. Anyway, so we have this application, and what is your pleasure, gentlemen?
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we approve the one-day entertainment license as you just specified.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any comments or anything? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we also have a temporary sign permit approval and fee waiver from the Chamber of Commerce. I think it's what we've been doing every month because we're only supposed to do, oh, this is a new one.
Just to advertise for Founders Day, but they want it exactly out there so they can read it.
Okay?
I like it.
So with that explanation, thank you. And if anybody didn't hear that, this is for a new 30-day permit for to recommend Lee Founders Day weekend, September 20th to 22nd. They want to hang it on the fence right near the sign they already have. It is 32 inches high and 122 inches long. So it's quite a good sized banner, but it's for a great event here in town. And they are asking to waive the fee. So,
Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we approve the temporary sign permit for the Lee Chamber of Commerce and waive the fee.
okay.
I second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Anybody still online? What? Okay. Seeing none, all those in favor?
All right.
Aye. All right, thank you. We have one more. We have some appointments to make. And get to the, awaiting the cover sheet.
Sit.
So we have an appointment to the Berkshire Metropolitan Planning Organization. I've held that position. That's the MPO. And they are tasked with reviewing different state and bridge projects, and then also voting on how much federal money goes to how much state money, how much matching grants. There's quite a bit involved in it.
Well, I think we should appoint you.
I guess I'll volunteer to do it again, but I am more than happy. In fact,
A couple bridges.
okay. Well, I will let you know this, that later in August, we will be having a meeting right here, Berkshire Regional Planning, as trying to get, because I'm representing 5 or 6 southeast Berkshire communities. Otis, Beckett, Sandusfield, Lee, and some others. And if any of those people come and say, gee, we'd like our turn, I will probably let them do that and go in as the alternate. I was on it once before for many years, and I'm more than willing to share the wealth if another community wants to step up. So anyway, why don't we have, if you want to, you made a motion to put me back on?
To appoint Gordon as the Berkshire Metropolitan Planning Organization member.
I'll second that.
Right, and if it comes true, I'll let you know. So there's a motion and a second. So on that, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and I guess I'll say aye too. We'll see what happens. All right, we have another recommendation here from our fire chief, Ryan Brown, to appoint a per diem firefighter EMT. Oh,
Sorry to interrupt. I think we need to appoint an alternate as well for the MPO.
Oh, okay.
well, I'm hoping that's going to come from another town, or I'll be the alternate. But anyway, you tell me. I think Sabrina should be the alternate. What do you think?
Aye.
Okay. So do either of you two want to be an alternate? Otherwise, we leave it the way it is. The last alternate actually was a gentleman from one of the select board members in Washington, Kent Blue. And he did a great job, but he was on for many years too, and he is not running again.
Sabrina's double checking the letter we got to see if
Short. Well, it may be that we won't be able to provide an alternate, but maybe we will. We'll see while she double checks that.
Yeah.
In the meantime,
The alternate representative seat is vacant.
I don't know. Okay.
yeah, so it remains vacant, I think. Unless
I would
Bob, you or
suggest we
Sean want to.
Leave it alone until the problem arises.
Okay. All right, so at this point in time, that vote's concluded, and we have not put forward an alternate. All right, we, as I stated, we have a letter from Chief Brown. It's before you know. It basically states that he has a candidate for per diem employment with our agency, that Mr. Mason, is it Milik?
Yes.
Has been a firefighter with our agency since 2021. He's recently been certified as a Massachusetts EMT Basic, and a certified firefighter who has completed his recruit studies at the Mass Fire Academy. Additionally, he is a combat medic with the Massachusetts National Guard. He has shown great promise working in the field. He's expressed interest in working per diem as a firefighter EMT on our ambulance. So he has gone through the Cory check process, and we'll see how that works out. So based on this letter of support and recommendation from Chief Brown, what's your pleasure, gentlemen?
Mr. Chairman, I move we appoint Mason Milik as a per diem firefighter EMS.
Second.
All right, we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, I'll give Chief the good news. Here we are, and we have a request for a fee waiver from St. Mary's Parish having to do with the inspection of the church. And generally, these kind of annual or semi-annual, depending on what the building code says, inspections, we're allowed to charge for them, but it's always been this board's previously has always waived the fees for churches and schools and some other nonprofits. So here's the request, and if you would like to see if you want to waive the $150 application fee.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion that we waive the $150 inspection fee for the St. Mary's Parish.
I second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. So no comments anywhere. All right, so I would call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and we're back with another item that we've seen before. We have a bring your own bottle, BYOB permit application. It's a 30-day permit. It is for Epatito, D&G Hospitality LLC, doing business as Epatito. It's taken a while to get their final license back from the state liquor license authority. So we've seen this before and approved it before, but what's your pleasure tonight?
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the 30-day permit for Appetito for BYOB.
Okay.
Second.
All right, very good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So that is also unanimous. All right. Any topic the chair could not anticipate. I don't have anything right now for the board. Then
Nor I.
All right.
okay. All right. Then we'll move on from number 4 to number 5. And Chris, town administrator report, sir.
Just a quick update on our public safety project. Funding has been received. We had our OPM site visit the other day. Hope to have a OPM hired by early September, and we're working on, we're in the process of scheduling closings on our land acquisition. So we're moving along.
Good. Well, it's the best we can expect, I guess, is to move along. Very good.
Still on, I'll say, knock on wood, on schedule. So
Okay. On some kind of schedule. That's good. All right. Anything else from you? Anything else? No, that's it. All right. Anything else? I'll go back to can't reasonably anticipate anything, but we're good? I'm good. Okay. Then I will announce that the next regular meeting of this board will be on August 20th, 2024 at 7 p.m. right here in the courtroom. And without anything further, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. And that concludes the work of our evening for tonight.